We don't have these in the UK. 皆さん、こんにちは。スクイシートークへようこそ。Okay, in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 things that I love to do in my spare time in Japan, and I'm going to be comparing them a little bit to the UK. So if you like videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing I have on my list is karaoke, or karaoke, however you want to say it. This is something that I never thought I would voluntarily do in my spare time for fun. Yeah. Okay, the reason for this is we have it. It definitely exists, but not in the same capacity as it does in Japan. So, for those of you who already know, and for those of you who don't, in Japan, you kind of have your own private room with you and your friends, and you can sing as much as you want without any strangers watching you. In the UK, it's very different. Typically, it will be a regular pub or bar that will have a karaoke night, and you would have to sing in front of everyone. Obviously, most people don't like doing this because of lack of courage, or they just find it embarrassing. So you just get a bunch of drunk people who are so drunk they don't care how ridiculous they sound doing it. That would be me. I would have to be pretty drunk to do that, definitely. The other type of karaoke we have is people just buy a karaoke machine and have it in their house. But again, you'd have to be pretty drunk to do that. I think it's because karaoke is not something you really grow up with frequently. Like, you don't do it every weekend with your friends. It's just not a common thing to do. So I think British people generally are quite shy when attempting karaoke. I think it's different in Japan. You grow up with it. It's normal to go and hang out at a karaoke place with your friends. And so maybe Japanese people aren't so shy. And I encourage anyone who hasn't done it in Japan, definitely do it. It's less scary if you're with people you know, and if they don't care what they sound like, then you shouldn't care what you sound like either. So yeah, definitely super fun. I love it. Okay, so number 2 on my list is cat cafes. And, well, animal cafes in general. They are all over Japan. We have recently opened a couple of cat cafes in the UK. I'm not sure if they're very popular, I'm not sure how expensive they are, or I don't know anything about them, to be honest, because they're very new, and we totally stole the idea from Japan. 100%. Like, I know that for a fact. The idea was completely taken from Japan. What's quite interesting is if you've never been to a cat cafe before, like I hadn't before I came to Japan, I was quite curious with how it was going to work. Pretty strict on our animal welfare laws in the UK, and I mean, my cats didn't really like each other for a while, so I was curious, how is this gonna work? Like a bunch of cats in one place with a bunch of strange people? But it's actually really well done. Obviously depending on the cat cafe you go to, but typically the cats are really calm, they kind of ignore you, and the people that visit cat cafes are pretty good at treating the cats with respect. I've never seen anybody mistreat a cat in a cat cafe in Japan, and I love that they have little cat flaps on the walls, so if they don't want to be around these strange people, then they can go and just go to their own private area. I think it's really well done. And yeah, because it's quite uncommon to be able to have a pet in your apartment in Japan, cat cafes make a lot of sense, because it means people like me who can't have a pet in their apartment can still enjoy the company of cats. Actually, recently I went to a cat cafe and there was a little bed area. I took a nap, not afraid to say it. But yeah, it's a lot of fun and I would definitely recommend it. Okay, so number 3 on my list are festivals. We don't have these in the UK. I mean, we have music festivals, but you have music festivals in Japan as well, and that's generally a very different type of vibe. The festivals that I'm talking about in Japan are the summer festivals, I think are the most common ones. I love them. I only got to go once because of how the world's been, but I absolutely love them. They're so much fun, so many things to do, so much good food to eat. They're just great. And then obviously Sapporo has a snow festival that I was lucky enough to attend one year, and that was amazing as well. So yeah, we don't really have festivals on this scale in the UK. We have much smaller ones that you'll maybe find in different communities, but it's definitely not a big deal. It's definitely not really something that everybody kind of looks forward to every year, like, oh, festival season's coming, unless of course, again, it's music festivals. We do have in London the Notting Hill Carnival, and if you're interested in that, I would definitely recommend researching it. It's got a lot of Caribbean history. It's a lot of fun, but again, very different to a Japanese style of festival. So yeah, I might do a video on that in the future. Who knows? Okay, so let's move on to number 4. Shopping. I know what you're thinking. Yes, of course we have shops in the UK, oh my goodness. And yes, especially in London. But the reason why this is on my list for Japan is quite simply, there's a big difference actually. So in Japan, and I'm gonna make this as simple as possible, let's use Daiso for an example. So Daiso, as you know, it's a very cheap store. Most things in Daiso are 100 yen. And in the UK, we have a British equivalent called Poundland, and most things there are £1. So very, very similar. The difference is the quality. So I've noticed in Japan, if something is cheap, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're sacrificing on quality, whereas in the UK, you kind of are. It's very difficult to find something in the UK that is both cheap and good quality, in my opinion. I've never had any luck with that. That not only goes for household items that you find in Daiso, although to be fair, you can find absolutely anything in Daiso, not just household items, but even just in little accessory stores. My earrings, yeah, I got them pretty cheap. It wasn't from Daiso, but like the price that I got these for, I think they were 300 yen. In the UK, you couldn't get anything nearly as cute for this much and this good quality. So that's why I prefer shopping in Japan. Also, I've spoken to my family back home, and a lot of stores have closed in the last couple of years for obvious reasons. So there really isn't that much variety anymore. You have so many different stores in Japan for different things, and I absolutely love it. And that is why shopping in Japan is one of my favorite things to do. Okay, so finally, number 5, I've mentioned this before, but traveling. I love traveling in Japan, and it is because every part of Japan has its own unique cuisine, it has its own climate, its own environment. Nowhere in Japan really looks the same as anywhere else. And in the UK, I feel like we don't really have that. I mean, we do a little bit, but I mean, you're not gonna find any tropical beaches in the UK, unfortunately. It's not our fault, it's just where we're located geographically. No, it's better in Japan. Like I said before in previous videos, you have like a warm climate. If you go south, you have a cold climate and lots of snow in the north. We're kind of like that in the UK. I mean, I've never been to Scotland, but I know in Scotland there are some mountains there and it can get pretty snowy. But in England, where I'm from, not really. Yeah, I mean, when it snows in London, it turns pretty gross really quickly. Cities just aren't made for snow. Unless you're talking about Sapporo, then there we go. Alright, that is it for this list. What did you guys think? Is there something I should try and do for fun in Japan? I would love to know. And once again, if you like videos like this, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one. Bye!